So just to reframe where we're at in the story, I had just notified William first about the situations with Robin Nelson, asked for the appointment of a child legal representative, and asked for Robin Nelson to be kept away from the child, and Will first denied those motions without a hearing. And then the sheriff had a secret meeting with all of the conspirators, or most of the conspirators, on October 30th, and we left town. We took off. We were not feeling safe. And so I was gone for about a week. I went and stayed in Durango, I'll tell you that much. It was fun. I didn't really do much. I didn't leave my hotel because I didn't have a ton of money, and I didn't know exactly what to do. I had to mail my rent check back to my place back in Montezuma County, because I was just trying to figure out how to get help. And so anyways, I had already been told by Christian Hatfield to pretty much stop emailing him asking for assistance, even though it's their job to do these sorts of things and enforce the law. But, at that point in time, I still was like, this doesn't make any sense why everybody's acting like this. Am I the crazy one? And I remember on October 30th having a meltdown in the parking lot of the Comfort Inn in Durango, thinking, holy shit, if I'm having a midlife crisis, I'm having a really, really good one. I'm having a really, really good one. Like, if that's what this is, if I'm having a mental breakdown, then I've really lost it. Because it seems to me like all these government actors just victimized me and committed crimes against me and committed crimes against my client, and they're not helping us. And I called a friend of mine that I went to law school with. I haven't talked to her in years. And the reason I called her is because I thought, okay, I gotta get outside of the county. They're gonna hurt my client. They're gonna hurt me. They're gonna hurt these kids. Okay, cool. I went to the county. I went to the district. They're not helping me. So I called this friend of mine from law school. She happened to be a public defender back in the state of Missouri. But I thought, okay, cool. Well, if she's a public defender, maybe, just maybe, she's got contacts with somebody in the FBI. That's why I called her. And she was willing to talk to me, which was awesome. I really hadn't seen her in person since, I think, May 5th of 2011. But she let me talk to her. And I think she probably thought I was crazy, just like most people do when I start to tell them this story, because I know how outlandish it sounds. But I said, please believe me. I'm not lying. I know I sound nuts. I know I sound absolutely insane, but this is really happening. Now she knows. I've stayed in touch with her the entire time. She knows I was telling the truth. And I'm so grateful to that person, because I needed to talk to somebody about this. I needed to talk to somebody about what they were doing to me and make sure that I wasn't the one losing my mind. Psychological warfare, I talked about it in another episode, but it really is something that governments do to people, even small town governments. And I'm sure some of you already know that. Some of you have been victims of this as well. I've had a lot of you tell me your stories, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to those of you that have experienced what I've experienced. It's dehumanizing. It's humiliating. It's something that we should never anticipate to receive from the people that we pay taxes to put in office. It's awful. I'm sorry that happened to you, and I hope that if you still have the ability to get assistance, you make complaints, because this needs to stop. And, sorry, I'm going to go on my soapbox here for a little minute, but I got to do it. You realize that this is a crucial moment. Me doing all of this, I wasn't doing it to be here. I never wanted to be a hero. I tried to leave the practice of law. I told everybody I wanted to go be a stand-up comic. I know it sounds crazy. I hated being a lawyer so much. I was willing to take less money, but they wouldn't let me leave. They wouldn't let me leave. So I guess you get my soapbox here for a minute. But like I said, this is a crucial moment, because this is the first time this is the first time that anyone has ever truly tried to hold them accountable in a very public way like this. And again, I want to be really clear. I didn't want to do this. They literally gave me no other choice, because I'm not willing to take the knee to a bunch of corrupt government officials when they broke the law. And they're punishing me because I caught them. Those are people who do not deserve to be in positions of power. They have proven that they will abuse it. And if they're willing to abuse it to an officer of the court who knows the law, knows what due process is, probably knows the law better than they do, according to how many times she was able to call them out for breaking the fucking law. Those people are absolutely the worst type of people to keep in positions of power. And I know some of you are starting to wake up. You're starting to put some dots together, and you're starting to scratch your head about some of the things that have happened there. At least in the last, let's say since 2012, since William First got elected, moved over to Montezuma County. Let's pin it to that date. No reason. Just seems like a convenient time. Anywho, if you guys don't stand
in a quarter mile, turn left onto West B Street.
Oh, sorry, I'm traveling. I was on a roll. Let's get back on it. All right. So what I'm trying to say, though, is this. Right now is the time. If you need to make your complaint and you haven't done it, you need to make it. You can do judicial complaints. You can do judicial surveys. You can do FBI complaints. You can do complaints to Phil Weiser, although that's basically pointless. Phil Weiser doesn't do anything except for deal with fence law, apparently. Ugh. That guy should not become the governor. That's my personal opinion, and I think he is a completely ineffectual leader. Anyways, moving on. What I'm trying to say is this. If you guys don't stand up and start talking, if you guys don't start advocating for yourselves and your community, they're going to get away with it, and then they're going to be unstoppable. We're all sort of in, standoff. All of us are in standoff mode, waiting for somebody to do something. And, I don't know. I think they probably figured it out by now that I ain't quitting. I'm not quitting, dummies. And, they also know they got to leave me alone right now. And the smartest thing I ever did was start talking, because as soon as I started talking, they scampered. Because I shined a light on their darkness. I'm going to keep shining the light. Thanks for letting me take a couple days off. I needed to go remember what it was like to be funny again. I did it. It was nice. I don't know that I'm going to do comedy that much anymore. It was something I needed to help bring a little bit of joy to my life in the middle of all this nonsense they had me in. But I don't have to deal with their chaos every day. And I still love comedy. But I don't need it the way I needed it then. I make myself happy because I chose myself over maintaining a really disgusting, corrupt, evil, sadistic, illegal status quo. All right, I know I keep promising you Christian Hatfield, but I had to say my final piece on that. So thanks for entertaining me, and I'll catch y'all soon. Back next week with the heavy evidence. Stay tuned. Tell your friends. Let's get this word out. Time to make me viral. I need the money. By the way, donations are totally accepted. Venmo, This All Stops, or Joe Carlson Comedy. Also Cash App, Joe Carlson Comedy. I appreciate y'all. Have a blessed weekend.